Locked On Sunbelt is headed to Sunbelt Media Days. It's Locked On Sunbelt.
You are Locked On Sunbelt, your daily podcast on the Sunbelt Conference, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, Dave Schultz, Locked On Sunbelt, your teams every day. This episode brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. All right, that was one of the more awkward openings, and I'm exhausted. It was a long day. We had a great event that lasted up until about 10 o'clock at night, and I'm recording this because we are at such momentum. We'll take the weekend off, and we have Monday's episode, which will more along the lines, again, featuring Rocky Boyman, previewing mostly what is Sunbelt, the season, more than Sunbelt Media Days, although we do that a little bit more with Rocky than we did with Dominic Corsetto, which more along the lines previewed the Sunbelt season. We're going to talk about my interest at the Media Days, which is more along the teams and the players, and then what Sunbelt Media Days means to me. Obviously, the feature is going to be La Tech and Texas State. So it's going to be a little awkward for GJ Kinney and the players, although the GJ Kinney and the players have nothing to do with Texas State leaving. Right? Not their decision. They didn't have anything to do with it. They can look forward to it. They can try and win a championship. All right. And we don't even know how long GJ Kinney is going to be coaching in it. I was told that his contract is pretty well set in terms of how much money he owes back in case he leaves, but we'll see what happens. What happens if put it out there. What happens if GJ Kinney runs the table and gets in the college football playoff? Does he coach day one in the Pac-12, or is he in the Big 12 or ACC? Right? What happens if that all just blows up right in Texas State's face? Or maybe they just go give him $4 million with that TV money they're getting. Who knows what happens, right? But obviously that's going to be the thing. And with the La Tech stuff, I am interested in the details. And I don't know if we're going to find out. I did find something out interestingly today in terms of Liberty Biberty. They were not interested in joining the Sunbelt this go around. They were interested in joining the Sunbelt last go around. They wanted to come in with JMU badly. They were shunned. They did not. The Sunbelt didn't want any part of Liberty last time for the two reasons that we've talked about. Culturally, whether that is religious or whatever the case may be with that, but also finances. And they didn't want any part of that problem this time. They did not want to do the dalliance. That's not right. They didn't want to go through the motions and then be left at the altar. So last time they wanted in, this time they didn't bother. That's what I was told. All right. So we found that little detail out. But I do want to know the details of when this whole process started with La Tech. Because if Texas State is playing footsie with the Pac-12, did the process start with La Tech a year ago? Or did it start when Texas State left? Right? In the most recent yesterday's episode, basically, I want them to be more proactive, but people call me out, and I even said it. If you listen to what I said, it's tough to be proactive, right? You can't go get other teams. You can't be the Big Ten where Pac-12 is disintegrating, and you can go get Oregon and USC and UCLA to come with you, along with Washington, because you can show them the money. The Sun Belt can't show ECU the money. So I understand how that works, but can you say, hey, if this happens, we're going to be here? And, just like, so the Texas State thing didn't come out of nowhere, right? Compared to other stuff like Texas and Oklahoma, right? The Texas State thing, when it was announced-ish in the middle of June, they've been working on that for a year. So that did not come out of nowhere. When Memphis and UTSA, when UTSA all of a sudden joined the Pac-12, I don't know if that's even going to come out of nowhere, but maybe it will. But then all of a sudden, does the AAC start splintering off? And have you done any legwork? And all of a sudden, we hear rumors Tulane wants into the Sun Belt. I don't know. Right? Have you done that? Or are you scrambling at that point in time? Now, do you want, ECU? Now, all of a sudden, is Western Kentucky and Middle Tennessee want in? Does Liberty, right? Speaking of Liberty, is there a long line for people wanting Liberty in their conference? Is people scrambling to get Liberty in their conference? Everybody thinks that Liberty seems to be in demand, and I don't see anybody wanting Liberty in their conference. I don't see that being a high demand situation. Not that La Tech is, but I don't see anybody scrambling to get Liberty in their conference. I don't know, I'm just seeing a bunch of teams saying that, or a bunch of comments being they should go get Liberty, and I don't see a bunch of conferences scrambling to get Liberty. No. So anyway, though, that's what I want to see. I want to see if I can find out the details. Mostly going to be off the record. I'm not sure. I'm going to get Dr. Brian Maggard or Keith Gill to sit down and say, this is what happened when it happened. Maybe I'll be able to tell things that happened off the record, right? People can believe me or not. I don't try not to make things up. I'm about to clear 7,000 Twitter followers. That's a lot for me. I don't get paid for that. We are closing on 2,400 subscribers. I do get paid for the podcast, a nominal fee, which is nice. All right. The more people watch, the more I do get paid. So that is something. Not making a living doing this, but it is a nice little side gig. All right. But I don't make things up. I'm not that. I can't keep, I don't know where I got this. It's not the West Wing, but can't keep track of the lies. That would be the reason I can't make things up. Can't keep track of the lies. The West Wing line is you tell the truth because it's the easiest thing to remember. So that's what I'm looking for in terms of we can have the idea with the Texas State stuff. I want to know from the Sun Belt point of view when those conversations started. Did they wait until June 30th, July 1st before they really started? Or is that just kind of the official time that it started? Were they playing footsie for the better part of a year and they really could only talk starting July 1st? And that's why it seemed to take longer than it should have. When I said if they really wanted them, they would have been in. Well, they had to wait. And that's when the arm twisting started. All right. We talked about that. That's everyone. That'll get out of the way fast. I want to get to know some of the players. All right. It's been a couple of years since I've been there. Since 23, I think, was the last time I was there. I've only missed 1 year. But it's been a minute since I've been there. And we only get 2 players. I don't want to talk to someone. I want more than we think we can win a championship. We're looking to compete, blah, 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 blah. I want more than that. So we're going to talk about what I want answers from when we come back. All right. After I tell you about Monarch Money. Ever wish managing your money felt easier? With Monarch Money, you can. Whether you're growing your savings or planning a big purchase, Monarch puts you in the driver's seat. It's like having your own personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money is more than a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So in addition to managing your money, you're also building wealth. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONCollege for half off your first year. All right, an exhausted Dave Schultz, Locked On Sunbelt, your teams every day. Looking forward to going down to New Orleans for Sunbelt Media Days. Now, there's also happens to be a cocktail convention of all things. And we may just run into a master distiller from Jim Beam. If I could get my buddies who like to drink bourbon, drinking with one Fred No, that would make me a legend. We'll see if we can make that happen. I don't know. We'll see if we can make that happen. All right. Besides the drinking bourbon on Bourbon Street is about as cliche as it gets, but that's pretty cool. All right. My interest at Media Days, I want to talk to JC French. All right. And so whenever we get the kid like Alonzo Barnett III, all right. So that comes from, I'm not making fun of his last name. I'm a MASH fan. So that's Winchester III. All right. Charles Emerson Winchester III. So I'm making a 45, 50-year reference type of deal. Kind of tough to do that with the fourth, but so that's JC French, speaking of Jim Beam. So that's his great-grandfather. What's he know about his great-grandfather? I don't know too much about my great-grandfather. I grew up with my mother's father. I barely remember my father's father. I don't know anything about my father's father's father, right? My great-grandfather, my father's side. I know a little bit about my mother's grandfather, not such a great guy. All right. And so when you are JC French IV, does that come with a burden? Right. Like I said, I came back from an event at work. Let's just say not cheap. All right. People spent a lot of money for a really good dinner, some beverages, and a chance to buy not necessarily an exclusive bottle, but a bottle you're probably only going to get at the distillery and also not inexpensive. All right. So people are spending a pretty penny there. Well, this is Booker No's grandson, which would make it Jim Beam's great-great-grandson. Did I get that right? I'm not sure if that's correct. A lot of pressure comes with that, right? So what does JC French know about his great-grandfather? I don't know. Braylon Braxton has a tackle. Let's find out about what does he remember that play? One thing I know about these athletes, they remember every single play. They remember every single completion. They remember every single reception. Quarterbacks remember every single interception, whether it's their fault or not. I want to hear about the one tackle that Braylon Braxton has. All right. Teddy Hurst made the Dean's List last year. I want to hear about that. Right. Everybody wants to know what Ted Hurst runs at 40. I made the President's List twice. I want to hear what Teddy Hurst made the Dean's List. All right. Well, there's a player I got to go look. Mechanical engineering. Right. A lot of players, sociology, communications. Right. Not the most difficult of all majors. Someone's a mechanical engineer. And I think it was Nick Del Grande. I made light of it. I think you'll see it with Rocky Boyman. Had the chance to go to a military academy. And of course, that's not for everybody. But obviously, it was under consideration because it wasn't just one. Army, Air Force. It was all of them. Army, Navy, Air Force. Well, he's got the smarts because they're coming after him. All right. Because they're not looking at film first. They got to look at the grades first, right? Whereas everybody else is looking at the film and we'll figure out a way to get him in. They got to know if he's going to qualify academically, then they can see the film, right? They're got to do the opposite first. Then Penn and Dartmouth were offering him. And he ended up at Coastal Carolina. Again, no disrespect to Coastal Carolina. All right. And obviously the difference between Penn and Dartmouth is that's a lot of money, and Coastal Carolina is going to pay for your education. All right? Forget about NIL. There's no scholarships going to Penn and Dartmouth. So those are going to be somewhere in the $200,000 out of your pocket, whereas Coastal Carolina is going to pay to go to school or is going to cover your education. Meanwhile, maybe a few bucks in your pocket. No, maybe that's it. Just the bottom line. So finding out stuff like that. All right. And what's it like when, some of these kids have gone to multiple schools? Can we find the kids that have gone to one school? See if there's some kids like that. That's what I want to look for. I want to talk to JAYLEN RAYNOR. Found a video on YouTube from the middle of last season talking about the improvements of JAYLEN RAYNOR. Exactly what I said, that we've seen the improvements where didn't play very well for the first 2.5, 3 quarters, but they won the ball game because he didn't worry about what happened in the first quarter and the second quarter when didn't play very well. Oh, it was the South Alabama game. Yeah. Didn't play very well. Won the game, though. In his freshman year, he may not have won that ball game. Won the game in the sophomore year. Now we want to see him take that next step. No, those are the things I'm looking for. And I don't even know, and I saw this on Marty McGee. I don't know who Parker McCollum is. Country music singer. Named his kid after Major Applewhite. What is that about? Did Major Applewhite knew that he named his kid after Major Applewhite? I'm so looking forward to that one. So those are the things that I'm looking forward to, off the cuff stuff. Are we going to talk about as much on-field stuff as we can? Yeah. Do we want to have some fun with these players and coaches? You bet. They get the same question from all the people. We want to preview the season, but we want to have some fun. We want to get to know the players as much as we can. And hopefully, again, these coaches and players come on during the season when we can get them on. All right. All right. Also, I do want to tell you what these media days mean, and you'll be surprised. These are only 2, and they're going to be fast. And I do want to send thanks to the Sunbelt guys. I'm leaving. They're getting, we'll tell you about the schedule here in a minute because JMU is not going to like me. We'll tell you about that right after I thank everybody again. Again, we had like 70 some subscribers this week. All right. Between Sunday and Thursday. Again, we will have over 100 subscribers in the week. We will probably finish with over 2,500 subscribers by the end of Sunbelt Media Days. We may end up getting close. I thought I was going to get close to 2,500 subscribers between July and August. We may end up with 3,000 subscribers before we kick off. That would be amazing. So thank you so much. We're going to have a record audio month. Probably the reason why I came home and did a late night recording, maybe a little addicted to this stuff. I don't know. We were going to take, unless there's news, we're going to take Saturday and Sunday off. Mondays is recorded. We'll figure out how to do Tuesday and Wednesday. Wednesday may have to wait. Well, we can do a Tuesday one. And we'll figure out Tuesday. Well, on Thursday, we'll figure out how to do the Thursday one because I'm traveling. So we'll figure that out. But I do thank you guys. Again, keep those audio podcasts coming as well. Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Really do appreciate it. All right. Let's wrap it up. All right. All right, Dave Schultz, Locked On Sunbelt, your teams every day. All right, so it is in and out. Used to be going from Mobile or Lafayette. All right, one time from Mobile. That may have been basketball. One time from basketball. I just made my show. And I mean, when I tell you I made my show, the opening was playing. And I had to go to the bathroom. I mean, I barely made my show. But I mean, it's a 2-hour ride both ways, right? I mean, either going from Mobile to New Orleans or Lafayette to New Orleans. So it's easy peasy. This is going to be a little bit different. Hopping on a plane 5:00 Monday morning. Also, if I planned it a little bit better, Dustin Poirier's final fight is in New Orleans on Saturday. I think some guys from Lafayette are going to cover the fight. It's a big weekend for those guys. Just stay in New Orleans all weekend. So it's a nice little Lafayette weekend there. It could have been. But it is amazing on how exhausting Sunbelt or media days can be. just sitting there talking. SEC Media Day is a lot of fun. There is some socializing. Do need to pace yourself. Like SEC Media Days, you get in on a Sunday, and you do Monday, Tuesday. Usually there's dinners and there's adult beverages. I'm not sure how crazy anyone's getting the older we get. But you're not going too nuts. I think maybe on Wednesday they did their karaoke night. But we're getting in there on a Monday. There's a socializing. There's a casino. There's Bourbon Street. We'll probably go out on Tuesday night. If we can go find Fred No, we're going to go find Fred No and see if Fred No will buy us some bookers. Why wouldn't we? It is just talking to people all day, every day. And here's the biggest difference between SEC Media Days and SUNBELT Media Days. Obviously, it's smaller in terms of the amount of media. So usually at SEC Media Days, we're talking to mostly the media. All right. We get to talk to some of the players from some of the schools. SUNBELT Media, we get to talk to all the players and all the coaches. That's the best part. All right. That's the best part. We're not scrounging, to get the biggest and the best from the schools. We get all the schools. And so they came out with the schedule earlier in the week, and maybe I hadn't told them my schedule. And I said, hey, if I can, I'm leaving at 1:30. I need to get this done. They got me JMU at 7:30 in the morning, which I don't mind. I get up bright and early in the morning. I will be up bright and early. Bob Chesney is not going to like me. He's going to be in a bad mood. Maybe I need to bring in the Starbucks. All right. I'll bring in the Starbucks, Bob. All right. So I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, workout. All right. I may not be working out at 5 in the morning, but I get up early. So we'll get up early. And I appreciate the SUNBELT doing that. It's also a chance to catch up. Again, I live in Louisville now. So it'll be good to see the SUNBELT media, see, Craig Stevenson, see JT Crabtree. All right. See Mike Desimo from the Cajuns. It's been a minute, right? See Major Applewhite. All right. See Simone Eli. All right. From Mobile. All right. It'll be good. See the Lafayette media and the New Orleans media, right? The New Orleans media will cover the SUNBELT Media Days. They'll be there, probably mostly for the Cajuns, right? But Seth Lewis will be there. Fletcher Mack will probably be there. We'll get some other people, and it'll be good to see. It'll be good to catch up with them. So that's what it is about. It's about seeing the media. It is media days, right? Sometimes we forget about that, right? It is to kick off the season, but it is giving us access to the players and the coaches to pump up the season. It is the unofficial start of the season. Seems a little bit earlier this year than in the past. Although the last couple of years, it's kind of been All-Star Weekend. Like last year was All-Star Weekend. I don't know. It seems like it's a little bit earlier. Maybe not. No, maybe it's been the same time. And then, then you get one more week and then training camp starts. Right? Has training camp already started for one of the NFL teams? I think it has. Chargers start? I don't know. But we're almost there. Right. And so we're going to get all this stuff together. You got to give me a little bit of time. Again, hopefully I make it back. We got a big meeting on Thursday, 7:30 in the morning, as it turns out. So it's going to take me a couple of days to edit this stuff. I can edit on the plane a little bit anyways. But, give me a shot to get it all together. And, we'll be just, one day after another for 2 straight weeks, right? It's just going to be locked on previews, right? The players and the teams. I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be awesome. So, easy content there. Unless something happens, that's easy to talk about. So, looking to reconnect with the media. I'd say it's a nice couple of days off, but it's just going to be, if you consider that sitting there working and talking to people, a bunch of work, I don't know. I don't know if it's a bunch of work, but it is more tiring than you think it is. It is amazing on how exhausted you can be after a day of just sitting there on your rump talking sports. Because here's the thing, more so at the SEC media days, because you are trying to figure out, doing a radio show anyways. This is not a radio show. I'm just going to be sitting there pressing play and recording. Maybe that could be it. I'm not worried about doing a 3-hour radio show, lining up guests. It could be a lot less stress-free than that. That could be the deal. All right. Because they've got me lined up and everybody's coming in. They switched the schedule. I'm getting Del McGee. I'm getting Keith Gill. I'm getting everybody. So really looking forward to that. Looking forward to getting Dalva Loggins on and trying to figure out how to say his name. All right. And just looking forward to seeing everybody. And I don't need 3 more days off. I just had a nice vacation, but it'll be good to go down there. And again, it'd be classic going down to New Orleans and drinking Booker's with Fred No on Bourbon Street. That'd be classic. Sounds cliche. Don't care. That'd be pretty special. All right. That would be, that'd be as cool as, that'd be pretty cool. All right. We'll see. I don't know if I can make it happen. We'll see if we can find out where he is. Did bump into somebody who's going to know where he is, so we can see if we can find out where he's going to be on a Tuesday night, because that's where he's coming. He's out of the country now, but he'll be back from when that happens. So we'll see if we can make that happen. And I know some people that are going to be down there. They're going to like bumping into him and talking about his bourbon. So that'll be fun. All right. So we're looking forward to all of it. All right. Talking to the players, talking to the coaches. We'll see if some of the other media guys can come on and talk to us as well. The SUNBELT guys. I don't think the SUNBELT Syndicate's going to make it down there. Brady Weiler from GSU Panther Talk is going to be down there. So Matt Miguez is going to be down there. So warm weather fans, the name of the podcast. So we're looking forward to catching up with everybody. So it's going to be a good time, and it's going to go by in a blink of an eye. Again, it is a 5 a.m. Monday morning flight, and I'm leaving at 2:50 p.m. on Wednesday. So bada boom, bada bing. I mean, it is in and out. And I'm sure there's going to be beignets and casino in there somewhere along the way. No. Appreciate it. Looking forward to it. And Jay Walker will be there. We'll be catching up with him. So Kevin Foote will be there, and it'll be a lot of fun. Just being down there and being around all the SUNBELT people. We'll see. We'll get a general reaction to what the La Tech stuff is and everything like that. And we'll bring it all back with us. All right. We may, oddly enough, we might not have an episode, which would be odd, Tuesday, Wednesday. I don't know. We may not be able to figure out on how to get it done in the time constraints, but we'll figure it out. We'll do what we can. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're definitely taking off Saturday and Sunday. We'll be back Monday with our buddy Rocky Boyman. He's co-hosting SUNBELT Media Days with Matt Stewart, and he previews the media days along with basically the 2025 SUNBELT season. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. It is a big, big help. Don't forget about the audio downloads as well, Apple and Spotify. Really appreciate it. Have a great weekend, everybody. You've been watching and listening to Locked On SUNBELT, your teams every day. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you again on Monday.